GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
This is the Listen In Podcast with your hosts, John Cimino and Brandon Gorell, here on the Gear Radio Network.
Hola, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Listen In the Podcast and videocast this week. I'm a little better looking today than I was last week at this time. But hi, everybody. My name is John Cimino at I am JC Money on Twitter, and talking to you over. Still trying to figure out the directional thing. There, Mr. Brandon Gorell. Brandon, say hello.
Hello.
Said hello, very smoothly.
Yeah, very smooth.
And and as always, folks, your donations to our PayPal page is certainly appreciated. For
Best
those
nation in the
thank
world.
you very much. And if you would like to do that, GearNetwork.com/donate. You can do that, or just listen to all the bloody commercials that we have here. Although I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of them, because to be truthful and breaking down the wall here, this podcast, I did not write a full podcast. I barely even wrote like 3 sentences of this. So this is more going to be just I'm putting out a product to put out a product cast. So
Yes.
if us kind of more or less bullshitting through a podcast is not your thing, next week I'll be a little more prepared. But Brandon,
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
there, I broke that out in a meeting at work today.
Yeah.
Dropped it on him. Gave him a little Marshawn Lynch. But Brandon, what's going on with you, man? How are you?
Oh, living the dream, my man. As usual, got the Celtics game here on the other screen, and things are good in Packerland. So
Yeah, I was kind of debating whether or not we should do this when I realized that the Celtics were playing today.
yeah, I had really no other options. Like, it's either I do this and get it, a podcast in, or I don't get in one tomorrow, and it just doesn't happen this week. So
Yeah.
I'll sacrifice.
So we may get some
first quarter.
So what you're saying is we may get
some live reactions.
Right. Yes.
some,
Well, I mean, live
literal-
to us, but when they see it,
Yeah.
it won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded, but still,
Right.
it will be just as authentic.
I'm gonna hope to keep it under control.
All right. And as well, Brandon, I got a couple of these as promised last
Yes.
week on the audio cast.
That's the only reason I did this podcast. Man.
All right. Well, then you know what? What the hell? Let's begin. I'll actually open a pack, but while I open the pack, Brandon, we talked last week, and even in the week before, leading up to that, the Aaron Rodgers versus Drew Brees competition.
Yeah,
I wanted to get a little more into that with you. We touched up on it, but you had made a point to me, and I'm probably butchering it because I don't have the text in front of me, but it's something to the effect of, why does Aaron Rodgers get looked at the way he does when, if we're rating things based on championships, him and Drew Brees have done the same thing, and Aaron Rodgers did it with less talent. Something to that effect.
Yeah, it just we hear a lot of these, these pylons, and Rodgers' career has been wasted, and now it's the narrative of he doesn't have enough help, and he's lost a step, and he just isn't what he used to be, but yet we have Drew Brees, who has pretty much he's been around a little longer than Rodgers has, obviously, but with the scope and the arc that Brees has been in New Orleans, he's had what is named as the offensive genius of Sean Payton. They've played indoors. There's no elements. They've had a lot of explosive offenses. They've had some big name defensive players, and yet they were only able to cash in one Super Bowl. And they haven't even been to any other NFC championship games.
Anytime anybody ever says offensive genius, the first name that comes to mind for me is Adam Gase.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was an.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But Rodgers, he's been in three NFC championship games, and he's won one and lost two. And the two that he lost, you can't really, well, actually he's been three. The two out of three, you can't really fault him. I can't even say all three of them, but to be honest, you can at least kind of make the case with the Seattle one. I mean, he didn't score a lot of points, but again, it was against the Seattle defense. But at the same time, he was playing hurt in that championship game, and all we needed to do was recover an onside kick. Went right through the tight end's hands on the hands team. Ironically, hands team. He didn't use his hands very well.
Oh, yes.
That stopped them from going to the Super Bowl. But even then, the Seahawks got the lead on that play, but Rodgers, with a gimpy calf and all, marched them down the field with almost no time on the clock to get them in position for the game-tying field goal. And then in overtime, he never saw the ball again. So you can't blame him there. Same deal with the Atlanta game, the NFC Championship game. He had nobody to throw to. Everybody was hurt. He had 2 offensive linemen out. I mean, he was just they were dead. So, there's not really much you can do with that one. Last year's 49ers game, he didn't play terrible, but he didn't play great. The defense just got railroaded, to give up, almost 400 yards of rushing in a game. It's pretty embarrassing. You can't really put that on the bad man, but at the same time, he's 1-3 in NFC Championship games, and he's cashed in a Super Bowl. Drew Brees is 1-1. He's 1-0. I mean, I should say, because he hasn't been to any other NFC Championship games. He had the one NFC Championship game, and then it's a bunch of flameouts in either the first, second round, and and we talk about, when Brees does something, everyone's just reacts and oh, Drew Brees, he's Breezes, and he's so great, and he's all this, he's all that, and, best quarterback in the game, and, all this stuff, but he hasn't won shit. But the measuring stick that they hold Rodgers to is that he's only won 1 championship, and he catches a lot of flack from fans and media alike about, not being able to cash it in. I'm like, well, where's the hate on Brees? Okay. And I feel like I'm finally starting to see it, because the first 2 games, he has not been very good. Mm-hmm. And they're starting to go, well, is age catching up with Drew Brees finally? Should we be worried about Drew Brees? And it's well, it's about time, because, right. I mean, he hasn't been, that great for a couple seasons now.
So let me, I guess, play devil's advocate here. Could it be because of the Drew Brees story leading up, being picked by San Diego, and then they ended up getting Rivers as well, and they had 2 really good players, and then Brees gets hurt, it hurts his shoulder, and it's a toss up between him and the Miami Dolphins and him and the Saints, and he goes to the Saints after Katrina. Do you think that the light being shined so positively on Drew Brees is more because of the Drew Brees story and how he got there and resurrected his career and helped take the Saints from the Aints to the Saints, so to speak? And whereas Aaron Rodgers, on the other side of it, was in Brett Favre's shadow in an organization that was already stable and used to, winning or having decent winning seasons. New Orleans didn't really have all of that. So do you think that could factor into that?
I mean, it's possible, but how long does that last for? How long does he get that pass? I mean, Katrina was how many years ago? I mean, it was 2 presidents ago. When's the statute run out on that? This isn't a small town varsity blues where you're talking about back in the day when, you were the high school football star, and then 20 years later, you're still in that town, you're fat, you're drunk, and you're useless. And everyone still talks about that magical season that you had. The
Al Bundy 4 touchdowns in a game.
This is an NFL team. This is a results league. And for some reason, we're okay with one guy not having the results, but the other guy we we crucify every time. So I'm not really understanding it, to be honest. I
think it has to do more with the franchises than it does with the individuals themselves and the each individual franchise's story. So Green Bay again has a long storied history. Now, I mean, between Starr and Favre, it's not really storied, but still, when you look back at the NFL in the early days, the late 50s, the 60s, it's the Packers. The resurrection in the 90s with Reggie White and Favre and Sharp and all of them, and pretty much through that, it was always Green Bay was always a symbol of excellence, whereas New Orleans was not that. It was the antithesis of Green Bay.
But it doesn't matter though. Like you can put that in all you want, but they've had success during the regular season and had great records and win divisions and home field advantage and all this stuff, but they've done nothing with it. So like, when do you start going, okay, that Super Bowl like 12 years ago was great, or 13 years ago, however many years ago it was, but like, what have you done for me since then? Like, I don't know. Like the story can only get you so far, I think. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I won the Super Bowl one time and that's good. I don't fucking understand this basketball game I'm watching right now, because I'm watching Heat players flop all over the fucking place, and a Celtics player gets shoved down right there. The guy just picks up the ball and shoots a jumper, no big deal. The other end, Wanamaker's driving to the hole, and Rodgers is just running with him and then puts his body into the offensive player and then falls backwards, and they call a charge, but his feet aren't even set. So I'm not really sure what the fuck's going on with this game right now. But anyways.
You know what I just thought of in that whole thing too? Back to Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's what I was going back to.
What if it was the MVP thing? Drew Brees was never an MVP, a league MVP. He was never. He might have been considered, but he was never like unanimously considered, or maybe one or two votes here and there. And Aaron Rodgers has been the league MVP twice. So do you think
and one of those seasons he's a Super Bowl champion? So.
Right. Do you think that that's why? Because maybe statistically, like right now, as Drew Brees nears the end of his career, he's got all those high numbers or whatever. But do you think it's probably because of the fact that Aaron Rodgers was deemed the MVP twice and Drew Brees was not, that he gets that pass? Like, I'm trying to find.
I don't think so.
I'm trying to help find that answer for you.
I don't know what the answer is. I don't think it's because of MVPs. Like, there's guys that don't win MVPs that win titles, and that's all that matters is winning the title. I mean, Tom Brady's won what? How many MVPs? A couple.
Brady, I think 3. I think
2, 3. But he's got 6 Super Bowls and 9 trips.
Yes.
So
a very nice win-loss record when you actually or not win-loss record. I'm sorry. Yes, it's a nice win-loss record, but a very nice win to game column.
I don't know. I just don't know what it is. I feel like Rodgers has gotten a lot of shit since he came in the league. Like, he had to sit there, behind Favre for all that time, and then Favre leaves and then wants to come back, and then Rodgers takes over. So a lot of people are not happy about the fact that Rodgers is taking over for the legend, and all that's going on. But at the same time, like he has been a legit number one quarterback, and he's been on some teams that defenses have let him down. Like, he has put up record numbers and scored record points, but there is games where they'd score 40 and they would lose 45-40. Like, it's insane to say, oh, well, Drew Brees should get a pass. Like, Drew Brees doesn't get a pass, and not in my book. And I think that he should be open to the same criticism as Rodgers is, if not more, because he has different advantages. He has Sean Payton there. He has the dome to play in. He plays in a really pretty weak division. So I mean, to say that, excuse me, Jesus, the fact that he hasn't cashed in any except for the one. I mean, honestly, like, how many years are you going to fail? And fail early, by the way, and kind of start saying, well, why hasn't Drew Brees won one more?
All right,
and I only hear that for Rodgers. I hear that all the time. Like,
I
Rodgers' career, and then they go into the NFL draft after being a 13-3 team last year, and then they don't draft a wide receiver, and everyone buries this team, and all the experts are saying they're going to be 9-7 and probably miss the playoffs. And I'm like, how the fuck do you lose nobody? And gain some athleticism on your line and get some extra pieces for your team, and then get a couple more defensive pieces, and then go and say, oh, well, this team's going to lose 4 more games than it won last year with an easier schedule on top of that. So like, I just
Well,
want
all right. So
Rodgers in the face.
let me do this for anybody watching or listening, especially my football expert friends that watch and listen to this. If you want to chime in, let us. Definitely. I'd like to hear some outside perspectives on your view on Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers, because I feel that especially this season, with so many other things going on in the not just the NFL but the world as well, but that could be a fun thing to kind of zoom in on and focus on as this season progresses. But here's another thing, Brandon. Before we go to our commercial break, let's do the first pack, shall we?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
So
I can sit here and look at Goran Dragic's face and want to punch it.
well, here's a name. Here's somebody that I don't think you would punch. The first card up.
Yeah.
Larry Legend, baby.
That's the man right there. I have that card actually.
There you.
Yeah.
I now have it as well. Terry Cummings from the Spurs is the next one.
Oh, I remember Terry Cummings.
Yes. Rolando Blackman of the Dallas Mavericks. Here come all
There were so many big men in that era, like
he was 6'6", 100.
they had starting centers, backup centers, and their power forwards were just like they were huge. Like they're today's center.
Well, the one that I just pulled out here, Terry Cummings, 6'9", 235 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big dude.
It's a big dude.
And that's their forward.
Yeah. Here's another forward. Dallas Mavericks, Herbert Williams.
Okay.
6'11".
That's that guy.
6 foot.
I do think that old logo, the M on the basketball with the cowboy hat on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that new the horse thing. Like,
oh, the Cuban era, the Mark Cuban era.
I like the old one.
Yeah,
the old one's pretty dope. Patrick
Ewing's All-Star card.
Why did it have to be a 3? Like he gave it up to Scottie Pippen?
I don't know. That'd be a good thing to research.
He's like,
by the way, still on the hunt for those of you that may have forgotten right now. Still on the hunt. Mark Jackson card, correct. That's the golden. That's the golden
Menendez brothers.
Mark West, the center of the Phoenix Suns.
Okay, yeah. Are you gonna do a Grandpa Joe like jig? Like if you end up with a Mark Jackson,
maybe.
Get up like Grandpa Joe. All of a sudden your legs work.
Maybe I'll break out the Scotty Too Hottie and do the worm. Cotton Fitzsimmons, Brandon.
Oh, I remember when they had coaches cards. There was only a few seasons of it, but
yeah. And another coach, Chuck Daly. Good old Chuck.
Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm. Reggie Lewis, Brandon.
That's my man.
Big Red.
Another rest in peace.
Mm-hmm. Lenny Wilkins.
Oh, Lenny.
Also rest in peace.
Yeah.
Gail Sayers.
Man.
That one hurt. Richard Anderson. Get him.
Look how good Charlotte was back in the day.
Yeah.
That guy was handling the ball.
From the Indiana Pacers, Brandon, Greg Dreiling.
Wow.
I never heard of him. We can get a Greg Dreiling. I can't get a Mark Jackson though. Tom Chambers.
Oh, Tom Chambers. Remember him in the NBA games from Sega Genesis?
Like Lakers versus Celtics in the NBA playoffs? Yeah. Those ones, yeah.
The Phoenix teams with Cedric Ceballos.
Yep, I remember
Dan
him.
Marley.
Lester Connor over here.
Oh.
And then we close it out with a rookie card for Sam Mitchell.
Oh.
I believe that's a double. And Michael Thompson of the Los Angeles.
Wow.
So that was pack one.
All
so
right.
We'll go to commercial break on that. And when we come back, we'll do the 2-pack. The Tupac.
Not to be confused with Tupac. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know.
The card's going to open and be like, that's why I fucked your bitch.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll go to commercial break. When we come back, all eyes will be on me and Brandon.
Oh.
And the second pack of cards and whatever the hell else we bullshit about here on the Listening Podcast. Stick around.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about the Jets.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you would. I don't think we want to talk about the Jets. We'll see when we come back.
Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the Fat Man.
And the world-famous R-rated podcast is now on the Gear Network. The Wrestling Show with Sleazy and the Fat Man is classless and raunchy commentary on the wrestling business today. Our multiple hosts, including Sleazy the Fat Man, Chip Willett, and NEW owner Travis Kenning, give a differing take on news, rumors, reviews, and previews of the entirety of the worldwide pro wrestling market.
We do what we want, we say what we want, and we don't give a at all. That's just the way we go.
Check us out on the Gear Network.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. While you were listening to commercials, Brandon and I were bullshitting still through here, and I don't know, one of these days I might just actually snag that piece and just throw it on the Patreon page. Because our conversations off, Mike.
Yeah.
Conversations you'd want to pay to listen to, I think. Or not. But yeah, you probably would. All right, let's go with the second pack here. And then we'll just, we'll take it home from there. But
yeah, well,
had to get something out. We gotta be consistent with it, my babies. We'll be more
Jets talk next.
Yeah, well, last week was the throwback to Football Talk Weekly. This week is more closer to
Bullshit
what we've been
Talk
doing.
Weekly.
Well, it's what we've been doing for the last 3 years now with this format. But all right, first one up is Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, Zeke.
Your boy. Here's another one of your boys, Vlade Divac.
Oh, the guy who learned English from watching the Flintstones.
Is that what he said?
It's a true story.
Really?
Yeah, look that shit up.
All right.
Vlade Divac learned English by watching Flintstones episodes.
It would be wonderful if, back in the day when Hideki Matsui played for the Yankees, like he should have just did that. He played for the Yankees for 8 years and didn't.
He's probably watching Tom and Jerry, and that's the problem. There's no spoken dialogue in those shows. Oh,
Cliff Robinson.
Duckworth? Oh, that's Cliffy. Rest in peace too, man.
Cliff Robinson's rookie card, Tom and Jerry. Hideki Matsui watching Tom and Jerry for some reason amuses me right now.
Him in Chanho Park, yucking it up.
Diarrhea. Dana Barros.
Dana Barros was a guy who I thought was going to be really good and just fizzled out after his first couple seasons.
His rookie card for the Seattle Supersonics.
Yep.
Here's another checklist.
Oh, nothing more valuable than having those checklists.
Oh, yep.
Come with the
from the then
pen.
Washington Bullets.
Oh man, Wes
Tom
Unseld?
Hammonds.
Oh,
and then here's Tony Campbell from the Timberwolves.
all right.
Here's a name we all grew to. Us old timers knew the name, but a younger generation learned of this name through the Last Dance documentary. Bill Laimbeer.
Oh man, he's a great WNBA coach.
Yeah. Let's see. And these, I don't know. These are all kind of. I think I'm just going to blow through these. Here's Blair Rasmussen.
Fucking every time, Daniel Tice, the fucking parking cone out there. Abadeo is away from him by like 10 feet. And it's an easy lob for an easy dunk. Wide open, uncontested. Tice is standing there with his finger up his German ass.
Steve Johnson, Mike Woodson, Mike Sanders. Here's an all-star card for Joe Dumars. Here.
All right.
And then Purvis Short, who looks anything but short here.
I feel like everyone named Purvis was tall.
Yeah, 6'7".
Yeah.
Joe Wolf, the center out of the Clippers, and guard Larry Drew for the Los Angeles Lakers. So those are.
I feel like the translation in Swahili for Purvis is tall.
It very well could be
possible.
Right.
I've never met a Purvis. I've only seen him on TV, and every one of them been tall.
All right. Well, I will agree with you there because I've never met Purvis either.
Fuck this game. Seriously, Goran Dragic is such a fucking piece of shit. Look at this fucking. Oh, that's a foul. Look at this. He elbows fucking Hayward in the face. Hayward gets the foul and he gets the and one.
Oh Lord.
The NBA, man. They are trash in the bubble. They're trash anywhere they are. They're the worst fucking officials in all of sports, man. It's NBA officials. They are worse than any fucking NFL referee, any fucking NHL referee, any fucking ping pong ref. I don't give a shit who's fucking reffing. NBA refs are the fucking worst. How do you see Gordon Hayward take a forearm to the mouth and go, yeah, it's foul on him. Shouldn't have been standing there. Let Goran shoot. And then Goran gets the fucking dribbly little shot and it fucking goes in. And one. Whoa. Fucking hate these Miami Heat bitches.
Oh man.
I hate him worse than the fucking Heatles.
You sound like me when I'm watching a Jets game.
Dude, it's brutal. Like, it's fucking garbage. Like, Jason Tatum's played like ass the first half. You know, and these calls have just been, just disgusting.
Well, I, ladies and gentlemen, I was privately hoping for a Brandon semi-meltdown.
You got it.
On this game. I was hoping something would happen because that I knew would fill up some time. And it did, and I got it. So, Brandon, I bow to you because you spared me and the rest of the world from talking about the Jets for this week. But I'm sure
we get a replay on this because he jumps into Hayward.
Are they replaying it?
I don't know. They keep showing it over and over and over again. I have it on mute, so I can't really tell what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really hear what they're saying either, but they're definitely shooting it over and over. Or replaying it over and over now. But no, nothing. Nothing. I think they were just showing it for TV purposes. But for podcast purposes and for your video watching purposes, we are going to wrap the podcast up and end it here next week. I promise you all next week on the Listen In podcast, I will have a more structured episode. We'll probably go back to the old football talk style again just for the hell of it because that was fun. And who knows, we might even have a live reaction out of Brandon depending on what
it'll be a structured settlement like mesothelioma.
No. But you know, if you or a loved one
fucking 4-point play
by mesothelioma, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, Brandon, let's do this again next week, shall we?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you as well.
So long, everybody. Good night now. Flavor Flav, give me a yeah, boy, for the highlight.
Yeah, boy!
What the fuck were you doing, Kemba Walker? Who were you tapping that back to? You were the only one back there. Oh, these guys are fucking killing me right now. It's like they took 3 days off. I wish they didn't. Because they're all fucking dumb.
Hang on, one more thing before you go. Remember, listen to our sponsors following this podcast, as that does help this podcast and this network out in a way that we appreciate very, very much. So if you could just ride it out 30 to 60 more seconds after this podcast is over, listen to those commercials, it would be doing us a very, very big solid. And again, we thank you.
This has been a presentation of the Gear Radio Network. For more, log on to gearnetwork.com.